Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, The Baker movie. I saw it Friday night. Right now, I'm in the middle of a wonderful rainstorm, in case you're wondering. So I'm doing things a little bit differently. I pulled over just to catch up on these Mike's Instant Movie Review. The Baker, Ron Perlman. I believe he was the gentleman from the Beauty and the Beast TV show, going way, way, way back to the early 90s, I think. I never really watched the show, but I remember that Ron Perlman, I'm pretty damn sure he was the Beast and people loved him, and he's been doing other things. So here he is playing a baker, the title character. It's kind of the IMDb logline says an elderly baker. It's a little insulting, but who's to say what constitutes elderly these days? But he's a baker. He's kind of running this little shop in the middle of nowhere. Not many customers. And then knock on the door. Here comes his estranged son. We don't really, unless I'm forgetting, which I might be, what caused their initial estrangement. They haven't really been in touch with each other. The son now has his own daughter who looks to be about 7 or 8 years old. And the daughter's a real, cute kid. She looks like she's perhaps mixed, biracial, perhaps Mexican or Spanish, with the white father. No sign of the mother. We don't. Oh, actually, we find out what happened to the mother. Okay, so should you see the movie or not? If you like action, if you like kind of a little bit retro. I mean, it's kind of like a Liam Neeson modern day movie on steroids. Basically, Ron Perlman brings a lot more aggressiveness and a lot more fist fighting to this thing. If you're squeamish, if you don't like, lacerations or people getting killed or people getting screwed up in a fight, you may not be able to counter that, because this actually does have a pretty nice story in the middle of it. Which is, so I'd say depends on who you are. If you can handle violence, if you don't mind violence, if you enjoy violence in a film, revenge violence, very similar to a Liam Neeson, go save the kid type of movie, then I'd say go see it. But if you're squeamish and you can't stand a little blood, then don't. But I liked it. I sure did. Funny little anecdote, counter programming once again. Look, I guess it's the tail end of summer. The kids are getting their final, when I say the kids, the random high school students or whatever the fuck students are going to the movies a lot. All the theaters that I typically have to myself are all full of fucking people now. The Haunted Mansion came out on Friday, but still, there's Sound of Freedom. I can never say that. Sound of Freedom is still getting big crowds. Oppenheimer's getting huge crowds. Barbie's just selling shit out left and right. Spider-Man 2 still dragging on. I knew with all these big box office attractions that a little film like The Baker would not have a big crowd. So that's what I got my Friday night ticket for. And I thought I was going to have the theater to myself. I get into the goddamn theater, the auditorium, I shall say. I always say that the theater is like all the fucking auditoriums. And the auditorium is the exact seating and screen that you're in. You understand? So I'm in the auditorium, and suddenly there's this influx of people. And, I don't want to besmirch. They seem nice enough, but there was a lot of talking. Somebody dropped their fucking phone. The other person had to put the phone on, full blaring lights, to try and find the first asshole's phone. The movie's starting, and then one of the fine folks, I guess they kind of had like 2 rows, and so one of the people stand up and looked behind and said, "Is this Insidious?" And the people in my row said, "Yes, it is." Well, actually, the movie credits had just started, and the words "The Baker" just appeared on the screen. There was no signs of any Insidious red door type of thing. So I spoke up because I wanted to rectify the situation for these poor people. And I said, no, this is The Baker. And so they all kind of just got up and left. And the girl that asked the question thanked me. I said, Insidious is a good movie. But actually, I was thanking her, because with 20 people out of the theater now, I had the theater to myself the way it should fucking be. Okay? So I can take off my shoes if I want. I can crack my neck if I want. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So the movie starts. It starts off with a bang, a big fight. Then we get the whole, can you take my kid, Grandpa? This is your granddaughter. The granddaughter hasn't spoken, spoilers, I guess, since her mother was killed in a car accident, wasn't wearing her seatbelt. And so the kid is very insistent that the Baker grandpa wear his seatbelt. We're proceeding with this film, and the son, who's a never will do, N-E''ER, never will do, he gets into some trouble with the wrong type of guys. He doesn't have the money they want, so more or less they kill him. And now grandpa and granddaughter are on their own to fight this big crazy world and so forth, and exact revenge and do all this happy horse shit. And apparently the Baker was once in this mafioso world. There's kind of like the lead guy that's out to get the Baker, and he's got a bunch of henchmen, and of course, you know, the more henchmen means the more kills of henchmen. And then Harvey Keitel is kind of the end boss, to use your video game phrasing. I liked the movie. I thought it was good. There was another movie that I reviewed a few weeks ago. Kind of had a similar vibe. It was like the guy who gets all the crazy tattoos to go rescue his kid. The cop kind of a desk cop who goes to rescue his kid, has to get all the tattoos. I saw that. I can't remember the name of that one. But the Baker is kind of a similar deal. So yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's violent. It's fun. But the violence is always good because you're beating up the bad guys. And the kid, whoever the little girl was a real cute kid. Good actress, too. She said a lot with her eyes, not with her words, because she doesn't have a lot of dialogue. So do I have any major complaints or considerations for this film? No. I say it was a good film. I mean, almost like a Steven Seagal type of revenge thing, but more like the Liam Neeson type of revenge thing, Taken and so forth. It seems like Liam Neeson is always rescuing kids. So Ron Perlman, good job. The Baker, go see it.